a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
I'm Christina Kann.
And I'm Leela Hilton.
And this is Burn Before Reading, the podcast about literature.
We're here again in person to discuss the terrible writing we did when we were younger and expand on some cringy literary topics.
Yes, as Leela said in the intro, we are recording in person again. I just like to let the listeners know in case the sound changes, because it will. The sound changes from sound to sound. But this one, every time we record in person, we are a little bit better at it.
Yeah, it's all about practice. And, you know, the vibes are immaculate, and that's truly what matters.
Yes, we will sacrifice sound quality for vibes. There's one thing about us. Leela, what has been cringing you out lately?
I've got a couple cringes, so I'm trying to think. But, you know, I should split them up.
Yeah, you should, because we're we're about to record two. A little peek behind the curtain.
Okay. Okay. First cringe. I told you this already, but pretend I didn't. Okay. So I was reaching for something far away on my large couch, and then I tripped on some shoes that were on the floor, my own, of course, and then fell back on my ass, but on top of one of those like flexible cat tunnels that like are made for baby kittens. But my cat Gus still likes to play with it. And I fell down so hard that he got poofed up and I bent the toy.
Whoa.
So
Gus is a real puffer fish, though. He's let's say he's reactive.
He's very reactive. His tail turns into like a little Christmas tree when he gets
oh my god!
Nervous.
Is it short?
No, it's so long.
It's like a long tree?
It's a long It's like a long, skinny Christmas tree. Like
oh my god!
A Tim Burton Christmas tree.
Okay, actually, that paints a perfect picture.
There you go.
Nothing makes me madder quicker than tripping over shoes on the floor. Like, something about it just sends me into a fucking fury. Yeah. God forbid they're my own, and I'm the target of my rage.
Yeah, I mean, because Jason's shoes are giant, and so usually it's his, because he wears size 13, so like each shoe is like roughly the size of like a Kate Spade purse.
Glanced up, saw my Kate Spade purse that Becca got me out of the trash yesterday. It's a great purse.
It is a great purse. Yeah, so that they take up a lot of space, and I'm always tripping. But when it's my tiny little size 7 shoes, and I'm just like, Leela, you know better.
My tiny little doll feet.
Oh, how do I even walk on them? What's been cringing you out as of late?
Just before we started recording tonight, I was watching the first episode of the current season of Love Island USA with my roommate Becca. Ever heard of her? Yes, you have. She was on the show. And there was a girl, God, and like, I hate to roast people's names because they have to live with those, but her name was Bella, BELLE-A.
No.
That was her name.
So, okay, I just have some... Wait, is that the cringe, or is there more?
That's the cringe.
Okay.
That's really cringe.
Okay, so is her name like normal Bella and she changed it to be more unique? Or do you think that these parents are like that, they're getting this unhinged?
I did zero research, but she was probably born in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Just a guess.
Wait, so BELLE-A?
It sounds like Jacob going, Bella.
Yeah, Bella. Bella.
It's like there is one too many vowels in there. Yeah, that is the problem.
That ain't right. Ain't Christian what it is.
Ain't Christian. She wasn't the one, I don't think, who was like, I'm Christian, so I won't make out with you boys on reality TV, even though that's what I'm literally here to do.
Yeah, the producers are like, well, that's not what we talked about before.
Well, as long as you're dramatic about it, you cannot kiss whoever you want.
True.
So, guess what, gang? You know what we're here to do? We're here to read some fucking Jazz's confessions.
Oh my god. And you know, maybe we'll get out to a point where something is confessed other than that she's a fucking bitch.
I'll tell you what, I did sneak a little peek
Is there a
ahead
confession?
just to see what we have in store. I think if we do this episode and then one more episode, we'll be able to finish, what is not a complete novel. It's definitely going to end on a cliffhanger. But I did sneak a peek and somebody confesses something.
Okay.
Is it Jazz?
Oh my God.
Only time will
Well,
tell.
that would make sense. So probably not.
Well.
Okay, I'm excited. So, should we catch the listeners? Where did we leave off last time?
This is a novel that I started writing. I don't know. I was probably like 13, 14 when I wrote this. It's literally based on the TV show Roseanne. And it's just it's a girl character written by a real person who wanted herself and her characters to be Darlene from Roseanne. I didn't know that in my heart I was a fairy princess. At the time, that wasn't cool.
No, not at all.
It was not cool to be like a cute fairy princess the way I am now. Leela, what do you remember happening so far? Do you remember what happened in like the first episode?
Oh, the first episode. That's like, hey, I bet you're wondering why we're here
in my novel.
Yeah, and we meet Jazz. We meet Jazz's cunty grandma. We meet her mom, whose name is Mom, and her name is Roseanne. Basically,
wait, they all have weird fucking names.
Yeah, they do.
I remember the grandma's name is Kathia. Kathia.
Oh yeah, Kathia. Is that how you say it? I feel like I said
Kathia.
Kathia, but maybe it.
Kathia.
Okay, and then Keelia, which it really does not roll off the tongue.
Keelia,
That's
who is
sister.
a nice sister who just happens to be a prep. It's not her fault.
And it's like prep is the definition is
just like nice cool girl.
I mean I guess because like
Dresses boobily.
Yeah, she dresses in a way that you can see her breasts.
Which is so funny because me and Leela both are tits out right now.
Yeah. But when I think prep, I guess like I think specifically like a specific type of person who's like very back in the day, who's like basic, who only shops at like American Eagle and
like
Hollister. Abercrombie.
Yeah.
Wears that perfume, the Abercrombie perfume, and is basic. And so I guess that's her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think the problem is that I, as a youth, villainized those girls.
Well, yeah. And
Some of
turns
them
out
were nice.
the thing is like, and it is like exciting to villainize people in real life, but like you kind of, as you grow up, you realize that like everyone's just not that interesting. Do you know what I mean? Like people just aren't necessarily like interesting enough to be
villains.
Yeah.
Well, and on the flip side, I feel like you'll never actually know anything about someone if you look over there and you're like, boobs out, bitch. I'm not talking to that prep.
Fucking prep.
It's like, well, she could be really cool. You don't know. You could share interests.
Yeah, and what is she supposed to do about it?
So Grandma is really invested in making Jazz into a prep.
Yeah.
Weirdly.
Strange scene.
So then, she goes to the mall and she meets a boy, Rory, because I think that was the name of the boy I had a crush on at this time, whom I later dated.
Yes. He was
He's a sub.
A video game arcade sub who, Mother May I?
Yeah, he's a real yes ma'am kind of guy.
And then he's just kind of there along for the ride. It seems like he has kind of a lonely home life, mayhaps.
Yeah, we're not going to do this good of a recap in the next episode, which we're also going to record today. We're going to be like, guys, you got to go listen to the last one.
Yeah, it's just been a couple. Okay, and then we meet her best friend.
Another normal fucking name.
What's her name again?
It's DeVay.
DeVay. And the boy that DeVay dates is named
James or Matt?
That can't. Is it Matt?
I think it might be Matt.
I think it's got to be Matt. It's not. I don't think it's James.
I think it might be Matt. Scrolling back. I don't know. Let's call him Matt for now.
Sounds good.
Matthew.
Yeah, Matt.
Matthew. I wonder if that was Grandma.
Yep. And then there's lots of siblings, and Ryan's the baby.
Wait, don't read. She's reading now.
No, I'm not. I was staring
Okay, and then DeVay's parents are moving her.
Right.
And then now we just had a makeover montage, and Grandma wants to take everyone to the mall.
Yes.
That's where we're at.
At the ass crack of dawn on Christmas Eve.
All right, so let's get it started, Leela. I'll get it started with this paragraph. It was Grandma, DeVay, Keelia, Ryan, and I who trooped into the odd weather that morning, towing a diaper bag and stroller. Seeing as how Ryan was the only family member I found tolerable, I think he's like 18 months old. I tried to spend as much time with him as possible so that maybe I'd rub off on him and he wouldn't grow up to be a prep like Keelia, a perfectionist like Grandma, a failure like Dad, a perv like Alec. Well, Dad's unemployed, don't you remember?
Oh, that's true. Okay.
Because if I remember correctly, John Goodman was chronically unemployed in Roseanne. Oh, wait, you were there.
What, last night?
Yeah, last night we watched what was allegedly John Goodman's earliest role.
Yeah.
It was called True Stories, an 86 movie by what's-his-fuck from the Talking Heads.
David Byrne. And
John Goodman was so freaking cute in that movie.
He was a cutie pie. He was great in that movie. Born to be a star.
Born to be a star. I recommend that if you like odd little movies that maybe don't have a point. Other than like, wow, aren't humans interesting?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't want to
failure like Dad,
a perv like Alex, or anything else that my family members happen to be, but a smart and original individual like me. Not to toot my own horn. Toot toot.
So, have we seen any evidence that the brother Alex is a perv?
No.
Okay, maybe we will.
The only thing we know about him is that he disappears for like the whole day. He's a real go play outside until dinner kind of kid.
Why? Okay.
Which wasn't a thing when I was a kid. We didn't do that anymore.
No. How old is Alex supposed to be? Do we know?
10? I think we decided he was 10.
Don't say a 10-year-old's a perv. That's not...
Okay, but also if you're like a 14-year-old and you do have a 10-year-old brother, he's pervy. Wasn't your brother pervy when you were younger?
Yeah.
Not in like a real way, but in a way where he's like, oh, my farts, or like whatever.
Farts aren't pervy.
Okay. All right, why don't you go?
Okay. I really, really don't do the whole mushy, cute, lovey thing, but I have a soft spot for little kids. Despite how sour I am to the rest of the world, I just can't be like that to a baby.
Probably the best.
That is good. Bare minimum. There's something about Ryan's fluffy bit of brown hair and chubby, grinning cheeks that makes my mouth turn up in an unwanted but totally refreshing smile. So today I decided to carry him instead of pushing him in the stroller like I usually do. Ryan's not really that heavy, being 18 months old. It wasn't much work for me to have to carry him the half mile to the mall.
Okay, so that's a wrong and a lie. Carrying anything for half a mile, it's not like he's like 7 pounds like Penny.
He's not an infant. 18 months old is...
That's a toddler.
Yeah, that's a heavy...
It's like in between Paul and Freya. I'm listing our baby friends.
Yeah.
In between Paul and Freya. That's hefty.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I guess she's strong. She is not like other girls.
So strong. And at the time, I mean, I had 2 younger brothers. I knew how heavy babies were. I think what I hadn't done is walked half a mile.
Yeah.
In my life.
I feel like I walk a little bit with a big, heavy baby, and then I'm like, yeah, maybe it's time we do stroller again.
Yeah, I pass back to Dad. That's my move. I'm like, this is your baby. We entered the mall next to the food court where Keelia spotted some of her friends and was allowed to go hang with them. Grandma takes pity on Keelia now since most of her friends went away to good colleges after they graduated. Uh-oh. Sucks for Keelia. The few that were left either didn't graduate and were forced to live in Pickett Palm, South Carolina forever. Did we know that they lived in Pickett Palm,
They live in South Carolina.
That can't be right.
I thought it was Nova, honestly.
Or they went to the local college with Keelia and instead of studying, shopped. Yeah, I'm sure they're all shopping instead of studying. DeVay and I offered to take Ryan around the mall. I made it very clear that I didn't want Grandma to come with us. And if I was a funny writer, the next line would have been like, Grandma, I said clearly, I don't want you to come with us.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
Okay, Grandma asked me, what do you plan to do here? Scope out boys?
I rolled my eyes. I don't scope guys, Grandma. That's Keelia. Have you taken a single look at the stupid, lazy, miscreant males who inhabit this town? Well, I believe it about Pickett Palm, South Carolina.
Okay, yeah, it makes sense now. Is that a real town?
No way.
Okay.
I would be very...
It's a funny name. It's a good town name.
I'll Google it while you're reading for Grandma.
Okay. Well, you still haven't given me a reason as to why you can't simply go shopping with me. Why are you so anxious to get away from me? She asked.
Okay, Picket Palm, not a real place.
Okay, confirmed.
There were loads of reasons. She watched me like a hawk. She didn't like my best friend. I wanted Ryan as far from her as possible at all times. She didn't trust me at all. I wanted to be free to go wherever I wanted within the premises. I had loads of loose change in my pocket, and in my opinion, it's never too early to teach a kid to play video games. I don't want you to see your Christmas present until tomorrow.
Grandma's face brightened. Oh, then of course you may go off by yourself. I suggest we all meet back here in 2 hours.
Sure, whatever.
Don't say whatever.
I hurriedly picked up Ryan again and grabbed DeVay's arm to steer her away from Grandma. I had no idea of what Grandma would find to do in the mall, so I had no strategy for staying away from her. I mean, Hot Topic's probably a pretty good bet.
Yeah. After we were a good distance from the food court, I asked DeVay where she wanted to go. She suggested the arcade first, so we three walked the length of the mall. Ryan walked.
Oh my God, I just opened my water bottle and I got it confused with my microphone. I put my microphone into my mouth. Yeah, I was wondering the same thing because on the flip side of carrying an 18-month-old for a half mile, following them across a mall, that's going to take all day.
God, they walk so slow. Duke, the comic guy, was standing outside the arcade as usual. We exchanged nods as I walked past.
DeVay chose to play Pac-Man the entire time. She has no sense of hand-eye coordination and isn't savvy to the whole video games thing, but plays them anyway in hopes of upping her skills. She thinks that she might be able to beat me eventually. I laugh at the thought.
Ryan and I played a series of easier games. I realized after a few that trying to teach an 18-month-old to blow up the mothership was hopeless.
Oh, girl, that's pretty funny. We ended up leaving soon. As I left, I noticed a new issue of my favorite comic at Duke's stand. Notice that I don't name it because I didn't read comics when I wrote this. I'm such a fucking poser. I pulled out my wallet and gave him $1 for it.
$1?
Is that right?
No.
No. He gave me a penny back and asked me how Kelia was.
99 cents. Okay.
Wait, you gotta be Duke, okay? Because I'm Jazz.
Okay.
Annoying, I answered. He looked at me and I said, obviously, oh, you mean is she well? She's fine.
Good. Hold on. We're in South Carolina. Hold on.
Yeah, it's a different kind of
Good. Fuckboy. Tell her I said hi.
Does she even know who you are? I asked doubtfully.
I'm not sure, Duke admitted, but I want her to.
The wheels in my brain finally kicked in. After all of these conversations with Duke, I realized, ew, you're crushing on my sister. Okay, Jazz is a fucking idiot.
I was gonna say, wait, come on, Jazz.
I like all my adverbs. I said obviously. I shift from sarcasm to like non-sarcasm. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I should say Jazz, not I. I'm getting too in the head of my character.
Pretty much.
She's like, she has something doubtfully, but it's like, she's just doubting it. She's like casting the sentence, does she even know who you are, is casting doubt.
Is doubt,
on
yes.
one of his claims. And I said it doubtfully.
Duke shrugged, I guess.
I felt like retching. Despite his lack of personality and a life, I'd always thought Duke was better than girls like Kelia. You sicken me. I gave him the evil eye and slowly walked away for emphasis, with Ryan and with DeVay and Ryan following, very much confused.
Slowly walked away. As soon as I rounded the first corner, I regretted it because Kelia and 2 of her friends were waiting for me. They were giggling and whispering and laughing. Oh, fucking whores. How dare they?
I know. I sighed and thought for a minute before asking Kelia, what do you want?
Can't a girl even talk to her sister without being accused of being up to something?
DeVay snickered behind me. I ignored her and told Kelia, most sisters could, but you and I are not most sisters. I hate you and everything about you. That is very, very different from most sisters. Okay, and the other sister is the bitch, don't forget.
Oh my god. Most sisters don't like each other, said one of Kelia's minions.
Is that true? I think maybe when you're kids.
When you're growing up, it's hard, yeah.
I said in my same, this is a waste of time monotone, it's not that I don't like Kelia, I also hate everything that she represents. There is not one thing about her I can honestly say I like. What the fuck?
This is very mean. Kelia jumped in just as her friend was about to attempt to create a good comeback, which would never be effective, spelled wrong, because I am the queen of comebacks.
It's so embarrassing.
Well, just forget about that for a minute. Jazz, who was that guy you're talking to?
I said sarcastically again, just in case you can't detect the sarcasm. It's coming up. Which one? There's so many, I can hardly keep track. I practically need a pair of Sanji bonds to keep them off me.
What the fuck is that?
Okay, I don't know what the hell a Sanji bond is.
Is it like a cool Japanese weapon or something?
It's gotta be, but where the fuck would I have known that? That was before I got into any of my cool nerd culture shit.
I mean, you must have looked online.
Sanji bond. Oh my god, what is Sanji bond? Weapon, right? She's using it like a weapon, a pair of Sanji bonds. Oh my god.
What is it?
Wait, I don't know. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know what a pair of Sanji bonds is. I'm Googling it and nothing's coming up. I mean, I could probably... Sanji gun? What the fuck?
Really? You made that up, maybe?
Sanji gun? Hold on. I don't think
What? I wonder what you meant.
Okay. Oh, a Sanji bond. I spelled it wrong for sure. A Sanji bond is
see.
like a nunchuck, but there's 3.
Oh
God.
Wow.
I'm fucking insufferable, dude. That's really hard to stomach.
You didn't want to say nunchuck, so you looked up the thesaurus to see like what's another word that's very similar.
I don't think I used the thesaurus because I don't think they would have synonyms for nunchucks. I feel like what happened is the day before I wrote this section, someone was like, those aren't really called nunchucks, they're called Sanji bonds. And I was like,
I bet you're right.
I know something now. Even though I'm not sure if they're the same thing. They look similar. I think Sanji bond has 3 and nunchucks have 2. But it explains why you would need a pair of them.
Yeah, you're like, I gotta find a way to naturally slip this into conversation.
So stupid. Okay, I said which guy? Okay.
Okay. That one, she said, pointing. The one at the comic stand with the backwards baseball hat and the earring.
Ugh.
You know him. Don't deny it, because I saw you talking to him.
Wait, I don't know why I went, because that describes my boyfriend also.
I was like...
He's got backwards hat and gauges. Is it not possible that I was just asking him about his comics? Or correcting him for giving me the wrong change? Giving incorrect change is something he's very prone to doing.
Come on, Jazz. Just tell me. Kelia was starting to whine again, and I knew that she had no idea of what a person was when they were prone to something.
Well, I tell you what, Duke Johnson is a real South Carolina name.
It is Duke Johnson.
Named after Duke's mayonnaise.
Yes.
That's Duke. They should have all had Southern accents this whole time.
Yeah.
That's Duke Johnson.
We can't. It's too far in. We can't.
What if grandma had like a cunty Southern grandma voice instead of...
Damn.
I know.
Oh,
okay.
well.
That's Duke Johnson. He's 20 and is on the verge of becoming your stalker.
Really? Cool.
Yes, I said absently. Can I leave now?
No. Kelia grabbed my arm. He talks about me?
Yeah.
Well, what does he say?
This was beyond a waste my time. I don't know, okay? He always asks about you, but I cut him off because you're not worthy of my conversation.
But he talks about me.
Yes.
What's he like? She asked me, a smile spreading over her face.
I pretended to think about it for a minute. Well, no, she didn't say well. That was, I'm editorializing. He's not smart, not funny, and not ever going to find a girl.
He's single? Shrieked Kelia.
Kelia played cool girl.
Her friends giggled behind her. I shouldn't have screamed into the mic.
Sure, yeah. Now, I said slowly, prying her hand off my arm, which wasn't hard because of her lack of upper body strength. She'd always been the top of the cheerleaders pyramid. Yeah, I bet Jazz is real fucking buff up there. I am going to leave. You may feel free and go talk to Duke yourself.
Interesting. Very, giving grandma a little bit there. You may feel free. Kelia peered around the corner again, then looked at me. Thanks, she said, smiling again.
Sure, I answered, even though I'd done nothing helpful to the extent of my knowledge.
I left as quickly as I could because I knew that Kelia was going to want to hug me. I don't hug. I find nothing soothing or comforting about pressing another human body against yours, especially if that other human body contains Kelia's brain.
Oh my god, what did I fucking called this? DeVay and I decided to go visit Matt at Hot Topic, which was right across from the arcade. That's great. On the mall planners put the arcade right across from Hot Topic. That's correct.
It's good planning.
We like to pretend to be loud and obnoxious customers, which is fun because Matt's shift manager is a control freak that demands unwavering kindness and respect towards all customers, no matter who they are or how they act. And I needed jeans. That's stressful.
That's not nice. DeVay and I entered and, as usual, went over to the checkout to look for Matt. He was standing there with his fellow employees, and DeVay went over to give him a kiss. I felt a little out of place, considering that DeVay and Matt and all of the employees had either piercings, tattoos, colored hair, or a combination of the three. I had none of the above, and I knew that I stuck out like a sore thumb standing there holding Ryan without even one hole in my ear.
Hey, Jazz, Matt greeted me once his lips were free. Hey, Rai, he cooed, leaning across the counter to fluff Ryan's hair. So, as a reminder, Ryan is my actual baby brother.
Yeah.
And we called him Rai until he was like 3 or 4 one day. We called him Rai 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Until one day he just we were like, oh my god, Rai, come. And he just glared and was like, my name is Ryan. And we never called him Rai again. Hey, can you lend me a few bucks? I asked him. I would have asked DeVay, but she needed money for presents she was going to buy her parents. Matt had a job, and besides, his family was Jewish and Hanukkah was already over, so he didn't need to buy any more gifts. Well, now I'm having a conversation with myself. You gotta be Matt now.
Okay. Why? Decided to actually give your parents a present this year?
I gave a fake laugh and rolled my eyes. No, actually, I need pants and I'm broke. Come on, I paid you back the last time you lent me money.
You paid me 3 months after.
I tried to remember the circumstances under which I'd returned his money. I realized he was right and said, that's not the point. I need pants.
Matt raised his eyebrow. And I guess you want to use my employee discount too?
Duh.
Matt sighed, but then smiled. Fine, but I want the money back soon.
DeVay took Ryan to go listen for music. While I went through the racks of jeans. I hated trying clothes on, but I didn't care how baggy things were if they were long enough. So I just held up a few pairs of jeans until I found one that was a few inches longer than I needed, which was perfect. I took them over to the counter where Matt rang them up and put them in a bag, giving me the evil eye like I'd just done to Duke. I'll pay you back, I insisted. I retrieved DeVay and we left. Out
in the mall, DeVay told me that she wasn't going to carry my brother around all day. I mean, fair enough.
Where's the fucking stroller? Grandma just has the stroller.
It's so stupid.
I always wonder when you see people out in the world with a stroller with no baby in it. I'm like, bro, how did we get your baby?
I took Ryan from her, and as I did, I saw something that made me gag.
Across the hall, outside of the arcade, Kelia was making out with Duke. Damn, she works fast, I said.
You go ahead.
No, you do this and be DeVay.
Okay. DeVay frowned and then turned to see what I was looking at. Her jaw dropped, and so did her shopping bags. Isn't that the guy she was asking you about?
Yeah.
The one who asked you about her?
Yep.
The one who was almost her stalker? The one who was worried she didn't know who he was? The one Kelia got all giggly about?
Yep.
He's also the one you told Kelia would never get a girl.
I was wrong.
Now he's kissing your sister.
I can see that.
That's sick.
I know. That was kind of a fun exchange.
Ryan spotted Kelia, pointed to her, and uttered, "Sissy, kissy."
Okay, get ready for something horrible. No, Ryan. I held him and looked into his face. I explained in a baby voice, "Sissy slutty. Sissy bad. Sissy yucky. Sissy no.
No.
Sissy no.
Sissy no. DeVay shoved me and took Ryan back before I could stop her. Jazz, you can't tell Ryan to not like his sister. That's awful.
He shouldn't like her, I said, taking Ryan back and putting him on my hip. I want to know what Ryan's facial expression is during this. It's not like 18 months old don't know what's going on a little bit, you know? He shouldn't like her. He'll know that sooner or later.
I looked in Kelia and Duke's direction again and noticed Rory emerge from the arcade, watching the kissing couple until he saw DeVay and I and strode over to where we'd sat on a bench outside Hot Topic. Whew, it's a long sentence. Hey. No, hold on. Hey, Rory said. He pointed over to Kelia. Isn't that your sister?
Deny, 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 DeVay whispered audibly in my ear. Okay, we call that a stage whisper. I didn't know that at the time.
Okay.
Rory laughed and sat down on my other side. Are you... Okay, this is hard because there's 3 characters.
I'll be everyone except Jazz.
Okay, you be everyone.
Okay. Who are you here with? I just can't do a lot of good voices, but...
I know, we're both of us are not that good.
Who are you here with? DeVay asked him. No one. What about you guys?
Oh, I made a face at him. We're here with my grandma.
Rory immediately sat up straight and looked around him like he thought my grandma was with us. I realized that this was exactly what he thought and assured him,
she's not with us now. That sounds like she died.
It does.
She's not with us now. A look of relief spread across Rory's face. He returned to his slouch and smiled at me. It occurred to me again that he was really goofy looking. I think that's 14-year-old me's way of saying he's pretty cute. He's really goofy looking.
Can I come over when you guys go back home? He asked me, if your grandma will let me.
Sure, whatever.
Rory looked awkwardly across me to DeVay, who was completely occupied by bouncing Ryan on her lap and talking gibberish to him. He then looked at me and said nervously, listen, I know this is going to sound completely corny, but I think you're really cool. And I know we just met yesterday, but...
I cut him off, which I decided later was really rude even for me, since Rory was being honest and what he was saying was hard for him to say. But I cut him off anyway and said, you're not going to ask me out, are you?
So mean. Self-sabotage. DeVay perked up next to me and stopped bouncing Ryan.
DeVay and Ryan are the real Statler and Waldorf of this.
Rory was avoiding eye contact, so I knew the answer before he said anything. Maybe. Yeah.
You're not serious.
DeVay nudged me in the ribs. I nudged her back. Rory looked crestfallen as he said, okay, I thought you'd say no. He looked so embarrassed that I sort of felt bad for him, something that doesn't happen often.
Girl. Do you remember in Bob's Burgers when Louise says, what is this? It's like I'm sad for another person? Is that possible?
Am I going crazy?
I took a breath and, knowing I'd regret it later, said, that's not what I meant.
So you say yes?
DeVay nudged me again. I said slowly, sure.
It's so slow. Rory grinned his goofy grin, and I couldn't help smiling back.
He's goofy.
He's goofy. Rory was a cool person. The only reason I was gonna say no was because I'd never dated. I did get kissed a few times, so.
Yeah, don't call me a prude. I got kissed.
Okay.
Don't come for me.
Yeah,
I know how to kiss. I just think sluts are bad.
Yeah, okay. I decided in 7th grade when people started dating that it was pointless until later in life.
It's not pointless. You gotta practice,
Yeah.
girl. Oh my God, you gotta practice.
Oh my God. After Rory was babbling about how he thought I was cool, I realized that later in life was getting pretty damn close.
Wait, how old is she? She's like 16 maybe?
I want to say she said she was 16.
She can drive.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's been 4 years since she vowed not to date.
Okay.
But it's like basically a high school career. So it's
Yeah.
Okay. It's not that long. I mean, it is that long. DeVay reminded me that I need a present for Grandma, and Rory offered to help us pick one out. I was grateful for that because I had no idea of what an old lady would want for Christmas. I'd finally realized that I was a little old for the ceramic handprint thing to fly. Bitch, that's for babies.
That's for Ryan.
We went to loads of stores, and all I could find that Grandma would even like a little bit was a little egg beater with a flower at the end. I feel like I actually gave that to my actual grandma one year for Christmas.
That sounds pretty cute.
It's cute, right?
Yeah.
I figured, what the hell? It's the thought that counts.
By that time, we had to go meet Grandma. As we were walking, I remembered how paranoid Grandma was with Kelia's boyfriends and how few of them had survived past a week.
Don't tell Grandma, I told Rory, as DeVay and I went back into Hot Topic to say goodbye to Matt.
About what?
That we're going out. Okay, so I feel like in my adulthood, if a boy that I barely knew said, do you want to go out with me? I would think he meant like on a date.
Yeah.
But
We're
They are
dating
now
now.
boyfriend and girlfriend.
That was very quick.
So quick. And she was like, wow, all my values just straight out the window for this goof. Don't tell her that we're going out.
Why?
I frowned at him. Couldn't you tell when you met her that she is the kind of person who is completely overprotective of her kids and grandkids?
I did kind of get that vibe, yeah.
I shrugged. Just don't tell her.
As we walked home, not only was Rory with us, but Duke too. Keelia had pried him from his cart 10 minutes before his shift was over to come with us.
Oh my God, baddie.
I know. Keelia has also warned Duke not to tell Grandma what they're doing. Whether they were actually going out or constantly practicing mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, I didn't know.
Grandma was clueless and babbled on to us about people who kept their Christmas lights up until Valentine's Day and how lazy they were. No one was listening to her.
We arrived home to find that Mom hadn't done any cooking.
Oh my God, what a horrible wife.
Terrible. She told us that she realized just after we left that she had no idea of how to make anything without Grandma's help.
Oh my God, that's weaponized incompetence.
Yeah,
that's
come on.
fake, Mom. That's hilarious, though.
It is. I don't know. You just do it better than me. I wish that I'd thought of a good excuse like that instead of being dragged to the mall with Grandma. I mean, you got a boyfriend, but okay.
Okay. Yeah, she's had the worst day of her life.
As soon as Mom saw Duke, she knew what was going on, but she knew better than to say anything.
Grandma led Mom into the kitchen, explaining exactly how to prepare the Christmas Eve dinner. As soon as she was gone through the doors, Keelia and Duke sat down on the couch and started macking way noisily. Could you guys possibly do that anywhere but here? I asked. This is public domain.
Which means that I have as much right to it as you do, Keelia pointed out. I noted that she was getting smarter as she turned back to Duke. Huh? Oh, it's Grandma. Oh, heavens!
We turned to look at the kitchen door where Grandma was staring in horror at Keelia and Duke. Keelia's 18, 19.
Yeah. I think she's graduated is what they said. Yeah. My goodness. If this is why you came here, young man, you can just turn and leave.
Should I be Keelia for this encounter?
Yeah, you could be
Okay. Keelia immediately unwrapped herself from Duke and said to Grandma, "Chill out, Grandma. It's no big deal."
Grandma's eyes widened as she placed a hand over her heart. But it is a big deal. Having said this, she turned abruptly on her heel and went back into the kitchen.
I looked from Duke to Keelia before saying, well, that just about made my day, because getting a boyfriend is not what made her day.
No.
Watching her sister get in trouble is what made her day. You can be Keelia again. Now that Grandma's gone.
She's so paranoid, Keelia said to Duke as she once again sank back onto the couch.
Grandma's ramblings could easily be heard as she complained to Mom about how Keelia was obviously not getting proper parenting. Mom's argument was that there was an unequal parent-to-kid ratio in our family.
Well, yeah, that's true.
It's true, but it's also your fault, Mom.
Yeah. DeVay went through the kitchen to get to the bathroom, but I knew she just wanted to see Grandma's freak out.
Oh my God. I think that means that their house is also laid out like the fucking Roseanne house.
I don't have it memorized like you.
I think like it's definitely not based off the house that I lived in as a kid. It's like in the Roseanne house, you could go from the living room to the bathroom, but you could also circle around through the kitchen.
I see. Okay.
That's fucking Christina, girl. Sorry, Christy. That's what I went by at this time. Rory and I stood awkwardly listening to the slurping coming from the couch. I made an "I'm so grossed out by this" face at him, and he returned it with a goofy smile. But you know why he's goofy smiling? Because he wants to fucking kiss your face, Jazz, you
he's
idiot.
like, how about now we kiss?
How about now we kiss my Christmas present?
Christmas present.
Christmas present.
After a minute, Grandma called in from the kitchen, her voice having returned to its normal, annoying, high-pitched sing-song tone.
Which you're so good at, Leela.
Kids, will you come? I don't think she actually sang. Hold on. Kids, will you come in here, please?
It like elevated instead of de-escalated.
Kids.
The four of us entered the kitchen, and I could tell immediately that, despite the cheer in her voice, Grandma was pretty peeved. Mom was watching her amusedly. DeVay was making herself a sandwich and avoiding eye contact. Oh, there was a semicolon there. Okay, it's not a comma spice.
Okay, there you go. Sit, Grandma directed. Duke and Rory, sit.
Oh my God.
All right.
Duke and Rory sat down awkwardly at the table. Rory, having met my grandmother, sat up straight and looked directly at her. See? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Duke slouched down in his seat and gazed lazily at the coffee pot, much like a glob of Duke's mayonnaise.
He gazed lazily.
Which, by the way, at this time, I was a really picky eater, and I definitely did not eat fucking mayonnaise. No way.
Same.
No way
Yeah.
in hell.
I knew what was going on. There had been countless times when Kelia had brought a boy over, and Grandma did the same thing every time.
Okay, isn't Grandma, doesn't she not live here?
Yeah, I guess she visits a lot.
She visits too much, guys.
Yeah. Once or twice, Grandma got so harsh that Kelia ended up running from the room crying, which was great for me, but not so much for Kelia.
Bitch.
After a while, Kelia learned not to bring boys over when Grandma was here. I guess she'd only brought Duke over because I brought Rory over.
I pulled myself up on the counter right next to where DeVay was making her sandwich. She still wouldn't look at me, so I decided to just watch Rory and Grandma.
Is DeVay mad?
No, I think maybe trying not to laugh.
Oh, okay. I know that.
We've all been there.
You can't look at your friend.
Yeah.
Grandma stood before the poor cornered losers, her hands on her hips and an ersatz smile on her face. Who is that, a vampire in the Volturi?
Ersatz is definitely a word I learned from, I think it's the 13th series of Unfortunate Events. It's called the ersatz elevator.
Okay.
I literally, to this very day, don't know what it means. I'm going to Google it. Made or used as a substitute. Typically inferior. Kind of like MacGyvered, you know?
That doesn't make sense then.
It doesn't.
Okay.
Yep, it doesn't make sense. That's
all right.
So true.
She had an ersatz smile on her face. DeVay was spreading the same glob of peanut butter on her bread over and over again.
We are all DeVay.
I could see her looking out of the corners of her eyes at the table, but she still wouldn't look directly at me. Grandma cleared her throat before saying, "It has come to my attention that you boys are dating my granddaughters."
How'd you know that? I cried.
Grandma raised an eyebrow. "Well, I did see Kelia and Duke kissing on the couch just a few minutes ago. You were there, Jasmine."
I know that. What about me?
DeVay told me. DeVay winced like someone had slapped her.
Hey, I cried.
DeVay finally put down the knife and turned in my direction. She spoke looking at the light fixture above my head.
That's why she wouldn't make eye contact.
Oh.
Because she's in trouble.
DeVay, I'm sorry. She cornered me on my way back from the bathroom. What was I supposed to do?
I inhaled deeply, thinking, no pounding my friends. Wait, that...
Well, hold on.
I think, with fists. But, no pounding my
get
friends.
A pounding.
No pounding my friends. No pounding my friends. Yeah, to me, today, that would have more of a sexual connotation. What do you think?
Yeah, same.
No pounding my friends. That sounds like a horny girl who just realized she's bisexual going to her first party.
No pounding my friends. I have to stop. Grandma said, "It's no big deal, Jasmine. I just want to ask Duke and Rory a few questions."
I rolled my eyes. Fine. Continue.
I shall.
I shall.
Grandma turned back to the guys at the table. First, she pointed to Rory. "Are you aware that you are Jasmine's first boyfriend?" Oh,
I'll be the
embarrassing.
boys. I know,
Okay.
that's so embarrassing. Rory looked to me for help. I nodded my head at him behind Grandma's back. Yes, Mrs. Renner.
Good. Have you been in any relationships before?
Not many.
Grandma frowned. Not many as in 3, or not many as in 3 a month?
Not many as in none that I can remember.
Grandma looked satisfied for a moment before her eyebrows met over her eyes again. "Are you in school?" she asked him.
I realized that I didn't know this either. Grandma had said she thought that he got poor grades, and he agreed with her. Oh, yeah, because she, read him that first time that they met.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe he just meant that he used to get poor grades. I nodded my head vigorously and widened my eyes, but stupid Rory couldn't tell a lie. No.
Grandma pursed her lips and turned to me. "I hope you're happy, Jasmine. You've chosen a dropout."
I crossed my arms and said, "I am quite happy, thank you," which is the first sliver of happiness we've seen from this girl
Yeah.
at all. And also since she got a new boyfriend.
Grandma turned back to the table, shaking her head. She pointed to Duke, who blew a big bubble with his gum. "You," she uttered.
Yeah? Kelia shot a look at him and he corrected, "Yes, ma'am."
Are you still in school?
Dude, I'm 20. I graduated. Duke took off his baseball cap, smoothed out his hair, and put it back on. I could sense Kelia melting behind me.
So easy back then. Do not refer to your elder as dude. Do you attend a college?
Nah. And it says N-A-W. I think I was writing him to be a Southern man.
I think so. Okay.
Nah.
You mean no, Ms. Renner, I see. I noticed that you have a job selling comics. I assume you make minimum wage?
Which at this time was $7.25.
Oh, God.
It was literally $7.25. Yup. He says proudly. After these
few, I just want to know what you're about questions. Grandma cut right to the chase with no hesitation and a straight face. Do you plan on engaging in any sexual activity with my granddaughter?
No. Kelia gasped. Her eyes grew to twice their normal size and her cheeks flushed red. We all turned to her as she grabbed Duke's arm and dragged him out the garage door. They could be seen through the window driving away in her car. Damn. If she was going to be gone long, then that meant I didn't have a car.
They going to get at it right now, or
who knows?
So embarrassed?
We don't know.
Okay. We sat there in silence for a minute. It wasn't an awkward silence like silences usually are, or an annoying silence like when you're taking an exam at school and there's nothing better to do than tap your pencil. It was more like a what the hell just happened here because I'm kind of confused silence. During this silence, I realized that now Rory was Grandma's only target.
You didn't come watch any Eurovision with us this year, did you?
I didn't, no.
Okay, there's this really good song and this really cute group I'm going to show you after this called Remember Monday. They're from the UK and they're like the Powerpuff Girls.
Okay.
And the song that they brought to Eurovision was called What the Hell Just Happened, and they are like a beautiful harmony of them just going, what the hell just happened? And it's like a really cute little song.
I think I did see that one. We watched a bunch of the music videos and I liked that one. Oh, hell
yeah. Yeah, we love them. Go check it out, everyone.
Okay. I was about to suggest getting out of there fast before Grandma took out her anger on DeVay, Rory, and me. But before I did anything, she looked around wildly at the rest of us. Well, that was uncalled for.
I really had to try hard not to say something back to her. What she'd said was totally uncalled for. She'd never asked any of Kelia's previous man toys that question. And Kelia was 19. She could take care of herself. And I was going to tell Grandma this when I realized that I was about to defend my sister. Excuse me while I barf.
Grandma turned towards Rory, who quickly held up his hands in a, look, I have no weapons sort of way.
I need to stop fucking hyphenating things.
So many.
So hyphen. And Leela's had to read all of them this episode.
No way, Miss Renner. I wouldn't even consider it.
Kelia couldn't have picked a worse time to storm out of the house in a huff if she tried. Grandma was massively pissed, even though she covered it up with her obnoxious high voice. And when Grandma's peeved, everyone's peeved. Since Kelia, Grandma's special number one helper, was gone, that meant it was just Addie, who'd been up in the attic. Wait, up in the attic? Why did I put her in the attic? Up in her room studying all day. Alex, who hadn't come home yet and was probably off somewhere playing with matches. And me. Grandma would make sure that we all helped with dinner, if not decorating and wrapping presents in junk.
DeVay went home after a while. Her parents think that she spends entirely too much time with me. The stiff squares don't like my attitude.
So embarrassing.
Besides, she had to start packing. The Southers, I don't know.
I actually had friends in high school with this last name.
How did they pronounce it?
I think Southers.
Okay.
It's Souther. One
yeah.
Souther.
The Southers were mega rich. DeVay called it well off.
Yeah.
And had loads of crap lying around the huge house, like a vase with nothing in it, or a screen thing that fell over if it was touched. What?
This is my wait, I grew up in a house that was like not designed for children, and like everything was custom made. It was like a gigantic house where everything was precious and fragile.
Oh God. Okay.
So I'm definitely writing from my own. Every character is me in the end, as you know.
DeVay's twin brothers, Aaron and Morgan, were 9 and of no real help to their parents. And Charisse, her big sister, had long since run away with some guy. So DeVay felt obliged to go home, even though her parents hadn't told her she needed to be.
It's more like an obligated than an obliged. I think obliged is more like much obliged, man.
Much obliged, yeah.
Rory went home too. He gave me his address and I promised to come over within a few days to try and fix his Xbox. Remember, she fixes Xbox.
Yes.
He also told me to make sure to come on a weekday between noon and 8. Why this was, I had no idea. Well, I have a guess, and I think it's his good-for-nothing mother.
Yep. So I spent the entire day with my family, which was considerably more tolerable now that Keelia wasn't here, but still a pain because of Grandma.
Keelia didn't show up all night. In our household, this was perfectly normal. Keelia had spent the night with loads of guys. We tried not to notice. I mean, it's not like Mom could stop her. Keelia's a legal adult and can make her own decisions.
All right. The next morning was Christmas, and Alex woke me up before the sun had risen. I threw him off my bed and told him to come back when Courage the Cowardly Dog was over.
That's so cute.
Very cute. Grandma came in at 8, singing carols, but pursing her lips at Keelia's empty bed at the same time. She hadn't said anything about Keelia's absence, at least not yet, anyway. Every year, Grandma acted like she was doing us this huge favor by letting us open presents before eating breakfast. Yeah, right. Like a family as greedy as ours could wait that long.
Grandma got me an iPod. Throwback. It was always worth it listening to her bitching and rambles to get a kick-ass present. She even included a gift card to get a colored cover and case for it. Despite Grandma's lack of knowing anything at all, she always seemed to know what to get me. I'd been saving for an iPod, but it's mucho mejor to get it for free.
Uh-oh.
What's with the Spanish? Mucho mejor. Ay, 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 ay.
And it's italicized?
Yeah, back in the day, we used to do that.
Okay.
People don't really do that in books as much anymore because it's like othering.
I see. That does make sense. I think it was like that even in like the Josefina books.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's different in something like the Josefina books where you're like, we're learning about Spanish cultural heritage. So here's the italicized words of Spanish, which we're teaching you about.
Yeah, fair.
This is just one of her dumb words like awesome sauce or kick-ass.
Or Surats or whatever the fuck. Airsats.
Not airsats.
Mom and Dad gave me $100 for downloads, they said, or anything else. They said they thought I needed it for my iPod.
That was it. Addie promised to take me out to lunch, and Matt had already given me a Hot Topic gift card. I would like to see one line of dialogue from Addie.
Yeah.
Like one.
Yeah.
She's the oldest sister, and she's a half sister, or like, no, we heard that she was like not a real sister.
Yeah.
Which I think probably means half sister, which sucks of me, the writer.
Yeah.
Matt had already given me a Hot Topic gift card. Real spiffy, right? DeVay and I never exchanged gifts anymore, and if we did, we wouldn't have this year because I was broke and DeVay had too much to think about with the move.
I didn't expect anything from Rory. Even though we were going out, I'd only known him for 3 days. God, that sounded strange.
Girl, I feel you. Well, here's the thing. I was going to say, girl, I feel you, because I fell in like with my current boyfriend on our first date, but the big difference is we went on a date.
Yeah.
We hung out for like 5 straight hours, and I was like, this one's cool. And I've been talking to him for 5 hours straight. I don't think they know anything about each other.
Well, because what can like 2 broke 16-year-olds do in the winter do on a date?
Ooh, do you want me to tell you my literal 16-year-old broke date?
Okay, you tell me and then I'll tell you mine.
Okay, because my old boyfriend Ari would take me on this date. We would first go to there was this pet shop near where his dad lived where you could just like go in and play with the pets. Like you could just go like get a little cubby and like take the puppies and the kitties. So we would just go play with puppies and kitties for like an hour or two. And then he would take me to H Mart, which is like an Asian supermarket. And we would get like one thing because that's all we could afford. And then we would walk to this park and chit chat and eat it.
Okay.
Pretty good date, right?
That's
totally
so
free.
Cute. Wow.
What was yours?
Okay, so I remember I was dating Tyler the Mormon in the winter time at one point, and we were really into this thing called letterboxing, which is...
Oh, it's like geocaching.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, cool.
It's like geocaching, so...
That takes up a lot of time for something free.
And, I just followed him around, but...
yeah, that's fun, too.
Yeah, we would walk around the park in the freezing cold and try to find it, and then, stamp it or sign it or whatever you do. And then, like, go to go somewhere else where we could make out.
Yeah, that sounds exactly right. Definitely making out whenever we could.
Yeah.
DeVay didn't come over at 11 for brunch like she usually does. She told me that she had to pack, but I knew she was avoiding Grandma. Or maybe she was packing. So I spent Christmas downloading music. I didn't miss Keelia at all.
It used to kind of take a long time to download music.
I know. It used to be like a whole day activity.
Yeah. Later that night, I was asleep, my stomach full from eating 5 times my weight in candy canes and dinner rolls.
Ooh, yummy.
When the phone rang, Keelia and I have our own number, which doesn't matter to me because I rarely use the phone. The time not already devoted to shopping, Keelia spends lounging on her bed, twisting her hair, and gabbing with her friends. Sounds great.
Sounds awesome. That's the life.
After my mind woke up, I realized that my phone was supposed to have been confiscated. I guess that Keelia nicked it back when Mom wasn't around.
I looked at the clock and saw that it was midnight. I'd gone to bed unusually early, but food gives you that heavy, sleepy feeling. I stumbled around in the dark until I hit Keelia's empty bed. The phone was always on her side, and the computer was always on mine. The TV went back and forth. They were all on carts with wheels, so we could each use them without trespassing on the other side of the room. I groped around in the dark until I grabbed the phone. I could tell that it was pink and sparkly, even in the dark. I said, yawning.
Jazz? Said a familiarly perky voice.
Keelia? I said, awake now. I turned on the light. Are you at Duke's? Everybody's worried about you. Well, no one admits to it, but...
I'm fine, she assured me. You sound tired.
Well, it's midnight. What did you expect?
Keelia giggled. Is that what time it is? Sorry, I still haven't worked out this time zone thing. I thought that it was 6 your time. It's 10 here.
Where is here? I asked tentatively. If there was that much of a time difference, then she was obviously farther away than my parents would ever have allowed.
Las Vegas.
If I'd been fully awake, I would have made the connection immediately. But I wasn't, so I asked her, what are you doing in Vegas?
Oh, nothing much. Duke is with me. I'm just playing the slots, hanging out. Oh, and Jasmine?
What? I yawned.
I'm married.
Oh my god, she met the guy she married the guy she met today.
Not Duke Johnson.
Keelia, ever since I first started stalking you 3 months ago, I knew you'd be the one. Will you make me the happiest man on earth? Come with me to Las Vegas on my $7.25 an hour wage. I can afford both of our flights. And will you marry me?
Do we think they drove there? How long would it take to drive from South Cackalack to Nevada?
I think they could have gotten there if they drove straight through. They're not stopping to sleep.
Yeah.
Then I think it takes 24 hours.
I think neither of them have any money to be able to fly.
Oh, she doesn't work. And he does. He could live with his mom, but $7.25, shit used to be cheaper.
That's true.
So what the fuck? What the hell just happened?
Oh my god.
Keelia. Guess who's the problem child now? Keelia.
How's it feel?
Yeah.
Jinxies.
Oh my god. Okay, are you ready to wrap this up next time we come back to this? Okay. How did you like today's installment of Jazz's Confessions?
It was good. It was great. We got a little more of the same, but
Yep.
It's nice to see Keelia have something to do.
Yeah. Yep. So true. Someone to do.
Yeah, someone to do. Yeah. Well, I already know my answer. Is this horny, sad, or just plain bad?
I'll give it horny for Keelia.
Yeah.
I'll go horny for Keelia and Duke.
Yeah, horny for Keelia and Duke, and maybe a little bit for Rory too.
Oh, Rory's horny.
Yeah.
He's I just realized I might accidentally have started dating someone who is asexual.
Yeah, she's don't touch me.
Well, and this is so her repulsion to sexual encounters is so interesting because I was such a fucking slut as a teenager.
Yeah, that is interesting. Maybe it's just were you a little bit in denial about it?
I don't know. I might have
surely because being a slut's the worst thing
terrible.
You can be.
I definitely never would have called myself a slut.
Sure,
but I also might not have started yet.
Yeah.
Depending on, I think if I wrote this when I was 14, 15, but I lost my virginity when I was 15, so it was real close there. Things happen real quickly in high school.
Yeah.
So what do we think is going to happen in the next installment?
Grandma in Vegas?
Oh my God. What if Grandma goes, because I don't fucking remember. What if Grandma goes and hunts her down?
that I'm like, very excited. I hope that's what happens.
I do too. Like family vacation, but
Yeah.
the fucking Vegas
Does
version.
Grandma have money? Like, she talks like she does.
I feel like she bought her an iPod.
Yeah.
I feel like she maybe does have money.
Okay.
Just a guess.
So maybe she'll fly them all out to Vegas.
Ooh. Who are they going to leave Alex at home, like fucking Home Alone? He wakes up and he's just like, hell yeah, my fucking horrible family's
My
gone.
horrible family's gone. Time to go back to being a perv.
Which we have no evidence for. You ready to wrap it up?
Yeah.
That's it for Burn Before Reading.
Until next week, remember,
Your cringe is part of you. Say Ursets.
but only an ersatz part of you. Only a bond. I don't remember the other crazy words you've said. What was that numshucks word again?
Oh, yeah. Like Sanji Bonds? Sanji Bonds? Yeah.
Sanji Bonds?
I think it was Sanji.
Sanji Bonds.
Sanji Bonds.
But don't get your Sanji Bonds in a twist.
Nice.
Okay.
Thanks for listening to Burn Before Reading.
Created by me, Christina Kann.
Hosted and produced by Christina Kann and me, Leela Hilton.
Logo designed by Michael Hardison. Follow him on Instagram at RoyGBivRVA or check out his work at wildlingpress.com.
Theme music by Sakura Wishes.
Find me online at Christina Kann.
And find me at Leels for Reels.
Follow the podcast on Instagram and Tumblr at BurnBeforePod.
Or feel free to give us an email at burnbeforepod@gmail.com.
Thanks for listening, friends.
See you next time.
Deus Ex Media.